Hello there, everyone. We are just about to get started with yet another Summit der Langrisser match. This time it's going to be AdesDrac versus Lonebird. And the players are just rolling the map and getting themselves set up right now, so as you can see, we do not have the match in progress quite yet, but it will be going into progress ASAP. Rice Crew, welcome back. Alright, let's get some discords hyped about this match. Hey KFC, OMG, ATN, welcome to the stream. Alright, I see a little eyeball by the lone burb. It's time to get this match started. I better ping the actual TSdL group as well. So I can see already that we are going to be playing on Molten Core. Lonebird as player 2, and he's already first banned that AO. Definitely does not want to play against an AO here. No Kong Cam tonight, unfortunately. I literally just stepped in from the gym like 6 minutes ago, and I am a total wreck. Not fit for television. But at least feeling pumped. So that's not a bad thing. Alright, let's take a look at these boxes then. AdesDrac running a pretty typical looking box here. We've seen this box a few times already in Summit der Langrisser in a few previous streams. On Lonebird's side though, I believe I would not be exaggerating to say that we have never seen this box. Lonebird is the man, let's just say that. He is running Lanford, non-SP Lanford. Toa, we've got a Selvaria, IBC, of course, Annie, lost him, so a couple of meta picks. We've got the OG Florentia as well. We've got Altmuller, Emmerich in action. We've got Joa and Connie. We've got Al. So, Elaine, definitely a few strong meta units on Lonebird's side. Lonebird has always been a dedicated strat main. Loves playing that Strategic Masters box. And the nice thing about recent eras of this game is that Zilong has been treating strat with a decent amount of respect. So Lonebird, I mean, he had to struggle through and stay true to the cause, but he's been able to add some real monstrous units to the box lately, like Joa and Connie. They're going to be getting their unique equipment coming soon that makes them even more of a threat. Like Al is definitely a meta threat for now, and Elaine, super strong. So the real key will be to see how all these disparate characters kind of gel together in Lonebird's box. Obviously, the first pick of Grenshiel for Lonebird is pretty important because she brings the strat buff, so she will buff everyone in this box. The other interesting thing about Lonebird's box is no real tanks. I mean, I guess you could call Emmerich. Emmerich can do the job for a hit. Altmuller, like there are a few people in there who can bring a guard skill if need be. But what we're seeing as a result of this is that AdesDrac is emboldened to bring some strong front load his band pick with some strong DPS. Z2 in particular is a very strong first pick against an opponent who's probably not going to have, you know, a strong traditional tank and healer core. So she'll be able to jump in and probably get a kill on whoever she wants as long as Lonebird leaves that opening. That said, throughout the course of this pick and ban, Lonebird has diligently banned out the tanks. So now if AdesDrac wanted to have some unit to hide behind, that option is now pretty much off the table, unless he wants to use either Gintoki or Grenshiel with their guard skills. Probably not super necessary at this point. I mean, Grenshiel has the ability to get around that guard. With this Al on the board, I'd be kind of surprised to see Lonebird not at least chuck one of his bands at the Rosenseal. Maybe he doesn't think it's needed. Maybe he's happy to just bring 2 single target skills and just like paste these units knowing that there's no tank to guard them. Still, being able to get an early AoE off on them with no healer, or limited healing at least, would definitely be an advantage for Lonebird as well. Yeah, Venorion Lonebird is definitely a trailblazer. I mean, we are seeing more and more people using Strategic Masters boxes. Okay, Lonebird is going to leave the Rosen available. I guess the thought process there is that if AdesDrac picks Rosen, it's just simply less DPS, so he has kind of a unit that lags behind a little bit. Oboro, I suppose he doesn't feel as threatened by the Oboro because the engagements are probably all going to happen before Oboro really gets into the action. That said, a 5th pick Oboro against this team wouldn't really need to wait until turn 3 or 4 to transform, so, I mean, that was definitely an option. Oh man, let's get some hype in the chat. We are actually going to get to see some Selvaria in action in Summit der Langrisser. Selvaria, an interesting pick there, because normally she punishes a little bit of a slower playstyle, where, you know, you need to move in and start killing, or else she can start picking you off from range. That said, Lonebird definitely knows how to use her a lot better than I do. So, yeah, the other thing, as JB Famine mentioned in the chat, is that Lonebird does have an act again here. So one nice thing you can do with that is set up your Selvaria, then give her the act again so she can pull the trigger. So it's something that Lonebird can definitely take advantage of depending on how the turn order goes. If AdesDrac accidentally leaves an opening, Lonebird might be able to pull off a surprise ambush with that Selvaria. And the nice thing is here, I mean, most of these units are pretty Selvariable. Okay, so both players taking their sweet time to set up their skills and formation. Let's see what we got here. We have a largely single target Annie with the Wind Slash, or Wind Blade, for Grenshiel, anti-Grenshiel purposes. Everything else looking pretty standard there. We got Air Slash on Zerda, we got the 1C buff on the D-Heart. Selvaria ready and waiting, and yes, we do indeed have that double single target Sagani. Especially after that 5th pick of Rosenseal, but that's fine. Sag, with no guard over here, Sag is going to be able to Windblade the Grenshiel at an extreme distance, for example, provide some nice additional healing with Holy Word. Couple of Windblades, scary. It's scary times with these 3 on the front lines. Scary times to be a Grenshiel on the other side. Yeah, no boots on the sag, and also no real rush to get anything started. Sag just hangs on the front lines. Doesn't send Owl out yet. Yeah, the onus is not really on Lonebird to be the one who moves in, so he's happy to kind of wait back here, get Selvaria set up, and that will be really what threatens distance-wise for AdesDrac. On a similar note, we may see AdesDrac not trying to push in and try to kind of keep an eye on that Selvaria range if possible before he makes a jump with, like, an Annie Portal and D-Heart or a Grenshiel, for example. The thing about AdesDrac's setup is once he does get kind of a toe hold, the rest of his team can pretty much all jump at once, so that's one nice advantage for him. We're going to see this portal getting overwritten. Very likely. Yep, so Lonebird uses the turn order. Takes a portal off the board. So we still have one little backup portal back here in the back lines for AdesDrac, which does still increase Annie's range at least, so she gets that benefit, but the downside is the rest of his units aren't able to use a portal to jump in. That said, with the portal here, even if D-Heart were to jump in, he wasn't in range to reach anything right out of the gate unless Lonebird moved up, but like I said, Lonebird doesn't really feel like he needs to move up right now. Lonebird trying to take the time to decide if he wants to blow the act again right now, or if he wants to sit on it. Timbuktu gets it. Just kill everything to win. Alright, Lonebird's gonna open with the Annie. She can't teleport anywhere that gets her fully out of range. I don't know if Lonebird forgot that he had already used that portal. He could have teleported back a little bit. But like I said, there was nothing that was going to get him out of D-Heart range. I guess the D-Heart's going to go for the Selvaria instead, which in my IMO is a smart move. The Silveria is really psychologically threatening, especially for players who aren't accustomed to how she plays. Better just to get rid of her and not have to think about counting those tiles every turn. So we essentially have an Annie for Silveria trade there, and they are on 1-to-1 footing. That said, yeah, we do have a Zera Ball here, allowing the Zera to jump in and get whatever kill she wants, pretty much. So Lonebird probably going to just kill this D-Heart with whichever unit he feels like he doesn't need the most for later in the game. Or he does need the most for later in the game. Probably AdesDrac, if he's jumping in with Zerida. Who does he prioritize? Yeah, Grenshiel overall, the bigger threat, and Underall, additional threat because she hadn't yet moved. Bird should have turn prio though. But that said, even with turn prio, it's going to be really hard to get rid of this Zerida now that she's deep in the zone and surrounded by Zeraballs. If she didn't have Zeraballs back here... Oh, that'll remove the stun. That is actually very helpful. So it may be possible to get rid of that Zerida after all, if that's going to be Lonebird's focus. Oh no, because yeah, Grenshiel still had an action. She just finishes off Annie here. Yeah, I think I give the advantage to AdesDrac at this point. It's just way too hard to unseat this Zerida back in the zone with revives. Unless AdesDrac does something dumb like loses a life to Sagni and then tries to kill him and loses her life. Her second life, that could be something that could happen, I guess. Yeah, that's true, chat. I mean, there's a possibility of Sagni being able to just eat both of these lives. It would have been nice if he had Holy Word this turn and Windblade for next turn, though, because you get that bonus holy damage against these werewolves. Depending on how buff this Sagni is, maybe eating through that full health Zerida with Windblade might be tougher. Oh, that's right, Zerida ignores class bonus. Okay, so I guess, well, the fact that that Windblade kills means easy kill at the start of next turn for Sagni. Sag is going to have to go somewhere that Grenshiel can't reach him, though. Which is kind of looking like almost nowhere. She's got 7 mobility and air slash. So, yeah, Lonebird is going to be looking to try to finish this Zerida off somewhere without getting instantly jibbed by that Grenshiel coming in. I don't know if there's a safe spot. Like, he would have to do it from, like, way down here somewhere. Don't think it's happening. So Gren just comes in here, kills the Sagni, and that's GG. Yeah, unfortunately, the D-Heart being able to move up into the front lines and then get the jump on Selvaria, unfortunately, threw off Lonebird's rhythm. And it wasn't even so much the Selvaria kill, it was the Annie stun on top of that. Although I guess Lonebird removed it. Still. The real problem, I think, was that we didn't get to see Selvaria do anything. As soon as she pulled the trigger on that big Selvaria cannon, I think that means it's a win for Lonebird if she gets to do that. A good attempt though. I like the pick and ban on both sides there. It made for a quick and interesting game. I wonder if they're rolling for game 2 as well. I don't know if they realize that this is the elimination round and they're just supposed to play a best of 3. But I'm not going to needle them on that point. Don't want to add additional stress while they're in the middle of a tournament match. Jurg asking, does Owl or Gren the Gren Shield override Zerbal? Owl doesn't. Owl is not actually a tile effect, he floats over other tile effects. The Gren Shield I'm not 100% sure of. I know Gren Shield gets sucked up by Annie portals. And Zerabal's overwrite Annie portals, so it seems like the Gren Shield would not overwrite Zerabal's. Unless they overwrite each other, like if they're on equal tier. I'm not 100% sure about that one. But we know from experience, if we've seen it happen in matches, somewhat embarrassingly, that the Gren Shield does not overwrite Annie portals. Just gets sucked right into the portal, like it was never even there. And yeah, Al just floats over other stuff. Alright, I'm looking at the Discord and they're both still working out the invitation to the next match. A little preview for everyone, though. They rolled Floating Courtyard, so it's going to be a sky map battle. Okay, Drac as player 1 for some reason, despite having won the last game, so I'm not sure if that means Lonebird opted to be player 2, or if this is just an unfortunate consequence of them not playing a best of 3 match and just rolling and starting another duel. Not 100% sure about the logistics of that, but the logistics don't interest us, only the execution, so let's see what's going on. At a first glance, I don't see any differences in their boxes, so also no one went to the side box. Lonebird's Grenshiel first banned, so he's opting to first pick his other strat buffer. I say his other, as though there's not. Also, poor Lanford sitting here. And AdesDrac is sticking to the Game 1 strategy of picking the dive bomb units who can get in on Lonebird's team quickly and each get a kill. So, looking just for favorable trades. This can be a decent map for Selvaria. It's a little bit trickier for whole enemy teams to get around. Obviously, Grenshiel doesn't really run into that problem, but the rest of AdesDrac's team is not the most mobile, especially aerially. I hear a crying Doberman, so I'm going to go check on her for just a moment while this pick and ban plays out, but I'll be back to check in on the teams that they've selected in just a moment. Alright, I couldn't resist those sad faces. They're in here in the studio with me now, but if they start Doberman WrestleMania again, I am going to have to evict them once again. Applesauce is officially 3 years old now, but she's not so old that she doesn't have an intense interest in trying to ninja warrior against the older Doberman at every available opportunity. Okay, well, let's actually take a look at what happened in my absence. We are going to have Lightbringer on AdesDrac's side, so he does have the tank, but no healer. So Lightbringer's also going to have to be the healer. We also have an Emmerich on Lonebird's side. Actually, we're getting the trifecta of Altemuller, Emmerich, and Lanford. This is truly a thing of beauty. Yeah, indeed, the old Alti and Emmerich combo. It was a brief shining moment in the sun that we saw people pulling off that move. I wonder if Lonebird's gonna go for it here. Yeah, I mean, neither really wants to. The thing about Lanford, though, is that, well, I don't know how Lonebirds is built, but Lanford's not great for much else other than being an aura stick and a faction buffer. So, I mean, I think it's probably slightly more advantageous to slap the buff on Lanford so Altamuller's freed up a little bit to do other stuff. Yeah, Q, right? Trifecta power. The only thing... It's hard enough to see a trifecta, but when do we ever see a quadrifecta? One of these days. One of these days it'll happen. Kim, this is the Summit der Langrisser, so this actually isn't Apex. This is a community tournament. It's season 13 of the community-run tournament, but in global Apex Arena, I think we're on like season 15 now. If that's what you were asking. Okay, AdesDrac bringing Shiv, AoE, and Scramble on the Leon. We've got Phalanx on the Lightbringer. And we have Shinobis on the Lostum. Let's answer this question right away. The faction buff is not on Altamuller. It is indeed on the Lanford. Emmerich going with a full Emmerich set, not trying any sneaky guarding shenanigans there. By the way, this is an Assassin McLean. Lonebird is going all out on special strategy sauce here. Well, the crying has stopped, but only one Doberman is currently accounted for. I think the other one's lying down at the garage door waiting for Mrs. Kong to come back. As with Game 1, we're seeing AdesDrac basically get into position, like an initial opening position where he can spring launch an assault on the next turn, or the next turn. Much like his advanced positioning of D-Heart in Game 1, so that he could spring load and attack into that Selvaria last game. Knowing that Lonebird's not going to be pulling the trigger on anything right away, he'll be able to kind of get Grenshiel forward enough. One thing he's going to watch out for, though, is the old Altamuller scramble, of course. He wants to make sure he doesn't line himself up, that Lonebird can grab specific attractive units to suck away from the rest of the team. Yeah, we don't know anything else about Lanford SP for now, other than the fact that he is going to exist. Yep, nice thick Altamuller, easily, well, I shouldn't say easily, but survives that opening assault from Gren. So AdesDrac will have turn priority here, which could be dangerous for Lonebird, and it's probably going to be tempting for him to blow his act again here as a way of mitigating that Grenshiel coming in and doing something else at the start of next turn. So who's going to be able to kill a Gren-shielded Grenshiel in one shot? Lonebird is selecting this assassin McLean. Let's see if he can do the job. He does have his big DPS skill available. With lurkers. Oh, and it does kill. Fully kills through the shield. Very nice exchange. That's the power of Lanford auras, my friend. So not only are we seeing Lanford in there as part of the strat trifecta, we're actually seeing Lanford fully pay off on that maneuver. AdesDrac tried for something a little bit desperate. He thought he saw an opening. Gonna give Lonebird maybe the benefit of the doubt and say that leaving Altamuller up here maybe was a little bit of bait as well. If it was, then he got an AdesDrac hook, line, and sinker. Grenshiel thought she had the opening, went for it, and if that killed Altamuller, that would have been a pretty decent maneuver, but Lonebird looking in pretty good shape here now. Yeah. McLean just re-upping to get his DPS skill back. Also, because of that tasty Grenshiel kill, there are no Zeraballs in sight yet. She's going to have to come in the slow way if she wants to come in. Not the best map for Lostum. It's not super good terrain for hooking around and engaging quickly either. So he's not super dangerous immediately. Leon can work his way in, but he's not coming in this turn. He's got water terrain to contend with. Does catch a breeze there, though. Lonebird just going to take his time this turn and get himself set back up. Get himself into a nice advantageous position. Try to make sure Leon can't get the jump on him. One nice thing about Leon going early in that turn is that it gives Lonebird a little bit more time to count out and see where exactly Leon can reach with his Shiv plus AoE, for example. Hey, well, welcome to the chat. Lightbringer pretty much just getting into position here to be a launching pad. I mean, she is a magical DPS-ish creature in her own right. And Lonebird is just waiting to see who his next victim is going to be. Who is he going to combo down next? Lostum can kind of get into the action here. It's another reason for Lightbringer being down here, is that she's just on the edge of hook range. So these are Lostum reachable next turn. And then, of course, the Zerida teleport is imminent. Once someone gets into the mix, AdesDrac wants to get Zerida in there, ripping some shit up. Dr. YOLO, I mean, there was a brief time when people were trying it in China, and it just didn't really catch on, and therefore it didn't really translate over to the global meta, so I believe that was independent of Lanford. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with the setup, per se. For someone like Lonebird, though, Lanford obviously just increases its potential. Okay, so Leon the Great Water Eraser comes in and blows his AoE. That's fine. He wasn't really hoping to use that to put big damage on Lonebird's whole team. Hitting Ultimuller was kind of gravy there, but getting rid of all that water was primary goal. He's going to be able to come in for a scramble next turn. Unless Lonebird does something about this. Not going to be able to do it with a totally beat up Ultimuller. Running back to safety instead. Well, this McLean does not have a revive right now. As he is currently completely dry. Which neither McLean nor his Glacial Elementals really enjoys. Drac now running dangerously low on backup time. Okay, so Zerida springs into action, gets a Zerbal, kills the Emmerich. And this could be a tricky situation for Lonebird now. Again, anytime Zerida's in there and you don't have a tank and she already has Zerabals established, it can be tough to unseat that unit. Needing to kill her twice is so annoying. Oh, I see what you've got. It's very nice. Okay, so putting some eggs into the McLean basket. Going to be going for an assassination attempt here. Unlike last game, Lonebird is not going to have turn priority next turn, so he could kill this first life off Zerida, but then AdesDrac can start the next turn by using her to get this ball back. Alright, unfortunately it looks like Applesauce is going to be joining me to co-commentate on the rest of this match. Does not opt for the lane covering AoE. He does go for that first life kill on Zerida. AdesDrac doesn't need to be in a huge rush to get Zerida in there to collect that ball right now. He could move Lightbringer up to keep her guarded. Emmerich's already gone, so his anti-guarding shenanigans... Oh, she is going to rush in. She 3Cs the McLean and gets the kill, even in her weakened non-revive buff state. Wow. We've seen a lot of Zeridas get themselves counter-killed that way, but I guess AdesDrac figured that Assassin-class McLean wasn't as threatening, that she was going to die if she attacked into it. And sure enough, we've got Zerida on the front lines again, with her revive back. Lonebird should be able to kill her twice now, though. But at what cost? Because Leon's a-comin'. Yeah, exactly, buddy. Even if Altmuller is in any condition to, like, finish off the Zerida, for example, or I guess Florentia could finish off the Zerida, Leon with regular attacks next turn is dangerous enough. Okay, so Lonebird does go for it with the Florentia. Not quite enough to get that kill, unfortunately, which is going to leave one big DPS up on AdesDrac's side, no matter what Lonebird does. Oh no, I know, you were cheering for Lonebird, weren't you? You can't win them all, Applesauce. Oh, just barely misses the kill on that Leon as well. I mean, that means Ultimuller's gonna have to use his next action. Okay, he finishes off the Zerida. He's off in the sky, but Leon can still reach. But I guess the hope here and the theory for Lonebird's side is that this Leon now is not going to want to attack into that Ultimuller because he's going to get counter-killed. Remember, Ultimuller is a thick boy. He's got a lot of stacks up here now, and if Leon, he doesn't have any skills, so if he just straight up attacks into this Ultimuller, he's going to die. That said, I mean, Lightbringer is looking like a tougher and tougher proposition for Lonebird to be able to crack at this point. She's bulky, she has lots of sustain, she can heal herself. I don't think Ultimuller is going to be one-shotting her, so you'd have to combo her down. The bright side for Lonebird is that he does have Florentia, so he can kind of delay back here in the lane and get his team healed back up for that final confrontation. I don't even know what these noises are. AdesDrac really just needs to be patient here. Just stay safe back here, wait for an opening. Lostum can just come in, get a stun, and then clean up afterwards. I don't think that was on purpose. I don't think that was on purpose. I mean, there's definitely... No, okay, that... Not only was it not on purpose, that was an active concession. Lonebird knew that he was toast, and instead of just resigning, he threw in the towel in a more dramatic and poison-filled and fiery way. So that was, I believe, 2 games in AdesDrac's favor, which means he'll be advancing to the top 16. Lonebird put up an excellent fight. I actually think both of those matches were kind of closer than they looked. Lonebird had some very intriguing compositions, and gave us a little bit of a lesson in how to make those unique teams work. So, yeah, I mean, if things had been a little bit different, things could have gone Lonebird's way, but in the end, it was the old traditional meta that dismantled his team and led to AdesDrac's victory. So congratulations to both players. Thank you very much for the interesting matches. Let's see. Let's see. Well, Mrs. Kong's not home yet. I do have a couple of crying Dobermans here. I wonder if I have time to look at Valabar's games. Did anyone cover those yet? Valabar, are you here in the chat? I don't think anyone covered your replay yet. So let me just switch accounts here. And I will bring up Valabar's saved replay. Where are you at, Valabar? Are we not friends? Doberman. Yes, we are. There we are. Okay, we are going to have a Valabar versus MyNameWasStolen replay. I do have time to get that done, but before we get this match started, I'm going to very quickly top up my sprite and see if I can talk this Doberman off the ledge. I will be back in 45 seconds. Alright, we back. We topped up the beverage, but we did not talk the Doberman off the ledge. But 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Alright, so let's get started with a review of Valabar versus MyNameWasStolen, which happened a little bit earlier in the Summit der Langrisser. It is another top 32 game. Okay, so on Valabar's side, we have a 1 tank plus sissy box, which we've seen a couple other times, a couple previous times so far this season. So it's definitely more of an aggressive box. Looking for trades and some aggression. We have Oboro in here just in case the opponent plays like a turtley style. We have Tatalia, which is interesting, just because she's relatively new, so we haven't really had a chance to see many good Tatalias in action yet. On MyNameWasStolen side, we have what looks like a more traditional 3 tanks plus Rosen team. Do you want to commentate on this, or do you want me to do it? That's what I thought. You can feel free to add your opinions, but not while I'm talking. Okay? Ow! Let's keep our disagreements verbal and not add violence to the mix. Other than that, fairly standard looking box, all the usual threats, and Oboro as well. Interesting that both players also have Archon in here right away. Unfortunately, it's not a super wet map, so we'll see how that avails them. We're going to get a first ban on Valabar's AO, which is a very nice first ban when you're facing a team like this that looks like an all-in rush DPS team. You definitely don't want Valabar getting that. And Valabar also banning out the AO. Doesn't want his team slowed down. So the first pick of Grenshiel is a smart first pick because she can disable tanks, knowing that with this box, if MyNameWasStolen wants to, they're going to be able to get probably first pick Rosen and then whichever tank is left for them in the second round. Okay, but My Name is Stolen, not going with the Rosenseal, gonna at least pick a DPS first. So with the one pick of, or the one ban of Hilda there, it's basically putting My Name is Stolen on having to pick a tank this round or risking having them both banned out. We'll see if they bite. They don't. Okay, so it looks like they're going to be committing to a DPS versus DPS match here. I like that. I think if you know your opponent is committed to trading, it's actually fairly important to secure enough DPS that you can trade favorably with them. So if you are spending your picks on a tank, maybe another tank, a healer, it only gives you a couple of DPS that you're able to then use to fight off like 5 DPS. So if My Name is Stolen is going to try to match DPS for DPS against Valabar here, they can do that to a certain extent until they get down to like the last round when they're probably going to be stuck with something a bit more defensive. Okay, so they do manage to clean up with a Lando and a Rosenseal as their last picks. But that said, we've got a Grenshiel, an Archon, and a Lostum. These guys are all going to be buffed by Grenshiel. Archon also gets a Landius buff, I believe. But we have 5 scary DPS here. I don't know, is My Name Stolen going to have a fast enough team that they can get in on this Oboro before he transforms? Or is Valabar, with his several assassins, going to be able to get in on this team and start killing shit before Stolen has a chance to start eliminating units? Oh, and we have that EOL skin on Tatalia as well, so we've got a very cultured whale here on Valabar. These are Tatalia skills. No one knows what they do. Valabar did bring the guard skill on Grenshiel, if necessary. That is, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what that's going to prevent. Oh, it does prevent a rush in with Air Slash here. Although if he's going to be hitting into Grenshiel, he's just going to use his 3C anyway. And what else? What else is interesting? Okay, frontal on the Grenshiel. Alright, let's see how it plays out. Breeze on that Lostum. And a breeze on that Grenshiel. Where does that leave us? I mean, ultimately, this breeze is not super impactful. Unless there's another unit in here that he can hook to. Grenshiel's breeze a little bit more meaningful in terms of stifling Stolen's advance. Oh, and a breeze on that Grenshiel as well. So she's not going to be able to slam the Grenshield down on this Grenshiel to ignore guard. But she would be able to get in to attack the Grenshiel. Or the McLean if she wanted to. Okay, McLean moving out of the way. Way out of the way. Mowing down way more water. Was that a breeze on D-Heart too? Okay, that is going to be troublesome. Oh my goodness. That is one angry Doberman. Okay, so Tatalia's still not really in the mix here right now. This Gren can't slap the shield on the Landius yet to ignore guard. But could attack into the Landius, but this D-Heart, that's a different story. D-Heart can hit these 3 units. And at least Stolen has Landius Aura to help protect against that D-Heart. And obviously Gren Shield is Gren shielded and on slightly defensive terrain. Interesting, Archon moves directly into Tatalia's line of fire. Maybe that was bait to draw Tatalia into range of Lostom here? If so, congratulations, because that was successful. But now your Lostom is out of guard range. D-Heart barely finishing off that kill with the fixed proc thanks to Lostom being on Forest. And I imagine he's just going to stay back and finish off the D-Heart. Yeah, no reason to try anything too fancy there. More breezes happening here. McLean catches a breeze now. He's got his assassination skill up. So if he wants to, he's able to reach Archon or Grenshiel. And Oboro is ready to transform. Okay, Gren moves up, gets Gren shielded, and let's see, is Gren going to be able to kill this Oboro? Probably. Yeah. Oboro has no terrain there. So he's just dead. Yeah, trust me, you don't want to see my hair tonight. Like I said at the top of the stream, I just walked in from the gym like 5 minutes before the stream started. So it's a little bit sweaty and unsightly right now. You gotta pay for my OnlyFans to see that. But that said, yes, at some point I'll try to get Applesauce on the stream. If she's behaving like this, she won't really be on the camera's focus for too long, but you'll be able to see her buzzing back and forth. Okay, Valabar actually, with a very good comp against this Landius and Rosenseal attempted sustain comp. I've seen Landius and Rosenseal themselves get into mid and then last for the rest of the match and have that actually work. Right now you're trying to do it against a strong faction-buffed assassin and a Grenshiel who can shut your Landius down if the situation is right. All Valabar needs to do is kill the Rosenseal, yeah, and then this game's pretty much over. Landius is not going to solo carry against both of these units. So that one was interesting. It played out in a fairly interesting way. It looked kind of back and forth, and part of that was because of all the breezes on both sides. Like, everyone was getting breezes. So let's take a look at this side box. Stolen ditches the Oboro and instead opts to bring Werner up. Valabar makes a bigger adjustment, basically switching from the all DPS plus Sissy comp, bringing in tanks, So now running a 3 tanks plus Rosen comp. Definitely more amenable to second player play. So as player 2, Valabar at least wants the option to be able to play a tank and healer to avoid getting rushed. Going with the first pick Liana over the first pick Rosen is an interesting move. It gives a little bit more tactical flexibility because Liana can also act again, which as player 2 we know gives you some dynamic playmaking potential. And he doesn't necessarily think that he's gonna get, you know, overwhelmed by AoEs and debuffs, so he doesn't necessarily need the Rosen either, right? He just wants to have some healing. Okay, so we may yet see Rosen here, though, as a 5th pick. No, it goes with the second tank instead. I think that's actually a stronger 5th pick than the Rosen, because it gives you a second tank that makes it much more difficult for Grenshield to shut your tank down. If you position well, she can only Grenshield one of your tanks, right? So you still have someone on duty to protect you from incoming attacks. That said, we do have basically just a bunch of other DPS here for Stolen's side, so... strong Assassin, we got a pull option, if he can pull someone away. Not likely going to be able to pull... Well, you just have to be able to pull someone away and then hit, so... I mean, there are a couple ways of getting through this tank comp. Let's take a look at skills. Let's take a look at skills while Applesauce is distracted. Okay, we do have accelerated aid here as well to help Stolen get into the mix. One nice... What are you doing? That's the ground. You chew on your bones, you don't chew on the floor. One nice thing about Valabar's positioning here is that on this map, Leon is able to reach turn 1 with Mech Knights. So he has put his Landius in the vulnerable position. If Leon's going to attack into anyone, it might as well be the Lancer with a revive. But yes, as JB Famine mentioned in the chat, one of the ways to win for Stolen is to gamble on the scramble, get a good team mix-up with Blue Dragon Strike, and then start picking off anyone who is sucked out of guard range. We'll see if he even has to resort to that. Applesauce is going absolutely apeshit tonight. As if in response. So the accelerated aid goes on Leon, but he doesn't need to pull the trigger yet. Valabar's team is pretty nicely protected. Actually, is this... So there's no electric headgear there. But I think she's out of range of Archon's pull, right? It's, 3 blocks? Yeah, so if he tidal surges and then 1, 2, 3, he can't quite pull her yet. Even if he could, he just pulls her into Landius' guard range. And then what does he do? He can run around and hit something that's being guarded. So Archon not super in play right now. Yeah, it is going to be Leon after all. Let's see. Let's see what this scramble looks like. He's just going to opt to smoke the whole team. He's not really trying to pull them back towards his team for follow-up. He just wants to put a shitload of damage out there and hope that Liana's not able to help everyone recover. So indeed, She heals Gin, but Annie's able to come in and drop a black hole on pretty much the rest of the team. We got a silence. Liana's heal blocked. Zeratus silenced. Landius is silenced. He's silenced with guard not up, so he's not able to cast that right now. Kintoki looks like he's buff blocked. Oh, and Grenshield can reach as well. And this Gintoki's not under guard right now, so I suspect Grenshield's gonna want to go in and kill that Gin. Okay, what else do we got? The only remaining units for Valabar are silenced, so unless he wants to just auto-attack with Zerida into a shielded Grenshield, what good is that gonna do? You know, there's a reason you were left upstairs earlier. Alright, Zerida's still silenced, and no Zeraballs remaining on the field means Valabar really has nothing left in the tank. He's gonna call that one. And we have some new substitutions, including... Applesauce, look at this! Look! We've got Tormilk! Tormilk and Girl in the Shell. Look at this team. Yeah, take a look. We got Tormilk. And we got Watham as well on MyNameWasStolen side. Fairly interesting choice. I wonder if this Tormilk is fully built in 6-star. Maybe we'll get to see. Okay, Valabar going for first pick Rosen this time. I guess the Watham was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Probably going to pick a tank next turn as well. Actually, wow, both players going from all DPS comps to first pick Rosen and Lightbringer comps. So this is going to be a very different game 3. Rice Crew, the question is not who actually pulled for Tormilk, it's who built Tormilk. Wow, and with a turtle comp getting Oboro 4th, that's really big. Let's go back and look at these bans from MyNameWasStolen side. So he bans the Grenshield and the one tank, which is a nice second ban. It's what's forced Valabar to basically pick a tank second here, and it also gets the Grenshield off the table, so she can't shut your one tank down. That's fine. And Valabar gets the Gintoki. Okay, then we have ban Zerida and Liana, leaving Oboro on the table. This is where things get a little more sketchy, I think. I think if you're going to be playing Turtle on Turtle, or Tank Push on Tank Push, I should say, because these aren't really true Turtle comps, you really don't want Oboro out there, and Liana is not really threatening. I mean, I think Stolen might have been overthinking things a little bit, in that Liana can act again and sack a Sky Archer to get like a additional Gintoki action. But I still think Oboro is more dangerous than that. You've got a tank, Gintoki can hit into you twice, that's fine. He does pick up his only remaining assassin though, which is fine. So that's when the Oboro comes out. The Annie, not super threatening against this comp. You've got a tank, you've got Rosen, so single target, AoE Annie, both are going to be fairly well mitigated here. And let's see, everyone. Collectively in the chat, I want you to cross your fingers I want you to cross your fingers that Valabar is going to 5th pick Tormilk here. Oh my... Come on. Come on. You submit your game to be reviewed by Kong. You bring Tormilk up from the side box. You have her available 5th, and you don't pick her. I give you a one thumb down, sir. One thumb down. And Z2, 5th pick for Stolen. I think that's a good pick. That's fine. So, honestly, on Stolen's side, we have one assassin, and it's Epsilon. We have Z2, who can hit into the tank, one of the tanks, which is fine, but ultimately, I mean, Valabar, I'm joking, or I'm memeing with you. You made the right choice here. Having 2 tanks does make things difficult for this Z2, at least. She has to smack her way through and strip buffs off 2 tanks, which is rough. At least this lets him really turtle up and hole up and get his Oboro into the action without really being threatened by anything that Stolen has here. And on Stolen's side, he's really kind of going to be forced to try to get in right away and hope that his buffed Epsilon is able to kill Oboro. And if not... let's see how it plays out. First, let's take a look at skills and such. I don't envision anything super surprising taking place here. Nope, that's a totally normal team. This is a double DPS Epsilon, which is fine. I mean, Hide would have been an option on this Epsilon, but I guess Gintoki can just smack him out of that with his push. We got a double single target at Ankelmo, which, again, it's fine, but she's gonna have to just, like, blast those single target spells at tanks the whole game. And yeah, we got the double super stripping skills on Z2 here. Sauce, are you finally going to sleep down there? I take that as a no. My deepest apologies. Listen, you. Okay, Stolen, I mean, I have to say, Stolen is making a certain use of this Annie portal. I mean, Annie, I've been saying Annie can't really do anything all game so far. But instead of using her for her DPS, he's basically putting his whole team through the portal. Lightbringer goes first, so anyone else who comes through the portal is guaranteed to be adjacent to the Lightbringer, which means they're at least ostensibly under guard. And the reason for doing this is to get into the action more quickly to be able to hopefully kill this Oboro. So as you can see, we do have a faction buffed, albeit injured, Epsilon, who can reach Oboro. Oboro is on defensive terrain, though. He is under Landius Aura, and he's potentially going to have Miracle here, if Valabar wants optimum protection. The other thing is, Epsilon also has 0 stacks, so we know from, like, several seasons ago that this, even pre-defensive terrain Lando Aura Oboros, no stacks, Epsilon has trouble killing stuff, so let's see if Stolen goes for it. Yeah, there's the Miracle, just to top things off, so that is a very protected Oboro. Applesauce, who do you want to win this match? Okay, he's gonna go for the Gintoki. Gintoki gets the Wind Wall proc, but even then, I don't think that's killing with no stacks. The Gintoki just happened to be the unit that was there. Stolen clearly just wanted to attack from guard. So the other skill he has is the one where you do more damage if you don't move. So he could just attack from here again. But again, no stacks. Applesauce wishes she was like a wolf. She's more like a big dummy. Big dumb stuffed animal. Slightly less intelligent than a stuffed animal. Yeah. So to give you the visual, she's lying on her back on the rug that's in the middle of my studio, and she's rolling around on her back with her fangs all out, like glaring at me with fangs, making weird noises. Okay, let's see if Epsilon... Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I guess the other thing Stolen is kind of doing here is clogging mid, but that really doesn't matter because once this Oboro's activated, he's just going to start killing everything. So, Stolen was really on the clock to get something done. Alright, Stolen's actually going to hide the Epsilon for now. Potentially, I guess, to get some stacks and get his 3C back, and then maybe be able to kill the Oboro later. Even if a couple of his team are dead, and he has, like, Lightbringer and Epsilon left, okay, he's gonna go for it. That was a little impatient. I mean, I guess he doesn't really have the luxury of patience at this point, because Oboro could just come in and kill him next turn. But he didn't have his 3C. He just had his crap skill. And he just had the 1 stack. So, this is pretty much over already. Valabar can just heal that Oboro up, kill Epsilon next turn, let his tanks basically soak up any Z2 attacks as they come in, while slowly killing the rest of Stolen's units. So ultimately, I don't think this really comes down to any, like, straight-up glaring mistakes that Stolen made. It was pretty much just that one little tweak in ban pick to let that Oboro come out, like, 4th. And, did not have the team comp to be able to deal with it. Sorry, I'm talking like this game's over, which it isn't yet. She's now willingly gone back upstairs to bark at the other Doberman. But at least she's not barking at me. Oh, poor Annie made a valiant attempt to kill that Gintoki, but was not able to do so, even with Fireball. Gintoki standing right there outside of guard range. I mean, it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the match, but it would at least have been a nice, like a morale boost for Stolen. Stolen wants to go down fighting. And Valabar going ahead and finishing the match with a suicide charge of dragon. We don't even get to see the Poison Fog dead dragon. So yeah, excellent games. I think one thing that was interesting about those matches is that we got to see both players play a variety of styles, right? They started out with kind of full DPS, like almost rush style boxes, playing DPS trade games, and then gradually they sideboxed themselves into this tank and healer style, which maybe part of that was like pace over 3 games that caused MyNameWasStolen to not really be focusing on the more tank pushy style of pick and ban and leave that Oboro up. I've often thought about that in longer series, like not so much in ladder because you're just playing a bunch of one-off games, but one of the interesting things about sideboxing, especially in like the 3rd game of a best of 3, is that you can kind of control the tempo and get someone's headspace in a certain place and then totally change it up after they've been used to picking a certain way for like 2 games in a row. It can kind of throw people off, so I don't know if that was part of it, but I really appreciated being able to see a variety of styles played out in the same match by the same players. And to Valabar for teasing us with Tour Milk, I gotta say, maybe we'll line up in ladder and I'll see her firsthand destroying my poorly planned out myth box. What do you think, Applesauce? Do you have any final words for the stream? There's a whole bunch of people listening to your yammering right now. Are you embarrassed? Do you regret the things that you said earlier? Do you regret nothing? Okay. I'm gonna leave it there. So thank you very much to both of these players. Congratulations on making it to the top 16, Valabar, and for making it to the top 32, MyNameWasStolen. It is certainly an accomplishment to get out of the elimination round. So I hope you got some good experience and enjoyed playing your games, and I hope we'll see you back for the next one. In a few short hours, actual Apex Arena starts up again, so I'm not sure what time zone y'all are in. I'm going to be dead asleep when that happens. But maybe over the course of this weekend, I'll get a few games in. And I don't think I'll be streaming because where I'm currently located, this is Thanksgiving weekend. So some family is coming to visit beginning tomorrow. Going to be entertaining them with festive fall activities and also pie, lots of pie. And the next day, giant turkey dinner. So probably not too much time for me to stream. But I hope you all have great luck in Apex over the weekend, and I will see you with some more Summit der Langrisser streams starting early next week. So thank you so much to everyone for coming out and supporting the stream, supporting the tournament, and supporting these players. I'll catch you in the next one. Happy Thanksgiving, and happy Langrissing.